Could you speak to the interplay between choice and destiny?
All that you call destiny is choice. What feels like destiny are the incremental choices that you made by knowing what you do want and knowing what you don't want, and throwing them individually into your vortex. We'll talk about that in case you don't know about the vortex, but if you don't know about it, where have you been? When you get a whiff of your vortex, it feels like destiny because it's calling you in such a strong way. But the destiny in this conversation was made up of individual choices that you were making. And then we must speak to choices that you've made even before you came into this physical experience that don't vary at all vibrationally from who you are and the desires that you are determining now. But it feels to you like a calling, and that's why you call it destiny. Esther was talking to a friend about that yesterday, that sometimes there's just a feeling that is so strong and it cannot be denied. And if you feel it and you turn from it to do something else instead, sometimes you start feeling a sort of paralyzation. In other words, you cannot not go in the direction of this powerful calling and be satisfied. But that requires a little trust. That's why we explain it to you in this way. You were non-physical energy before you came into this physical body. Yes. And here you are in this physical body. Yay. And the non-physical part of you is still non-physically focused and flowing to you and through you all the time, but non-physically focused. So here you are with your physical perspective, sifting and sorting, knowing what you don't want, knowing what you do want, and asking continually for this and that. And so these rockets of desires are going forth into this vibrational reality that we have named the vortex, because we wanted you to feel the reality of it, even though you cannot yet see it or hear it or smell it or taste it or touch it. It's the vibrational version of all that you have become, and your inner being stands there strong and benefited by the choices that you've been making as you've been sifting and sorting. So this non-physical part of you now is standing there in all of that clarity and all of that knowing, and no doubt, no lackful anything, all things wanted, because you sifted it out one experience at a time. And now, because your inner being is there, and most important, because law of attraction is responding to this entity called you and your non-physical inner being and all that you've asked for, as law of attraction is responding to that, cooperative components are being called to it. And you, who have the most vibrational, we'll call it DNA, it's wrong terminology, but the most vibrational hooking to it, because you created it. There is nothing in all of the universe that this cooperative, you are the most desired cooperative component. Let's put it that way. Your inner being is most desirous of you being a cooperative component to your own creation. And that's why it feels like such a powerful calling. And that's why you feel such satisfaction when you have any thought that moves you toward it. And it's why you feel an uneasy tugging when you have any thought that takes you from it. So if you have thoughts like, I can't do that, or I'm not ready for that, or I'm not worthy of that, or there's injustice or unfairness, if you go contrary to any of the knowledge that you have come to through all that you have lived, then you aren't moving in the direction of your destiny. And the reason that the word destiny is a good word is because can you feel the inevitability of it, the absoluteness of it? In other words, this is destiny. This is certain. This is who you are. We just don't think you should have to croak to get there. We think that you have the ability to pay attention to how you feel and to thought by thought allow yourself to be called by this powerful law of attraction that is calling you and all of the cooperative components there. How many what you call synchronistic things, or maybe even coincidental things, happen, and you marvel at the oddness of that coincidence when we revel in the sureness of the attraction. So much is going on, and as you pay attention, as you notice the cooperative components of which you are a part, and you revel in them no matter how large or small they feel. Esther and her family were on their way to have breakfast somewhere over the holidays, and when they got there, friends that they had been thinking about and wishing to be with met them accidentally in the parking lot. Not coincidental. Energy had been flowing, and the orchestration was taking place, and each of them was inspired to be at that place at that time for the rendezvous That non-physical is orchestrating for you all day, every day. And then another event, and another event, and another event, and another event, until in time you begin to understand that your destiny's got you. Your destiny has you, you see. Your destiny made up of individual choices. But you got to make the choice to want to feel good to even be anywhere near it. Is destiny a word like God that we can never speak to you again? Don't mess up the idea of destiny. Let it be your long-term intentionality that you're adding to every day of choices. Destiny couldn't exist if it were not for choices. And destiny couldn't be discovered, or you couldn't find your way to it if it weren't for the choice of wanting to feel good. There's no destiny that you have to think those thoughts. You have choices, free will in every thought that you think. But ultimately, you'll end up in a really good feeling place for a minute, for a little while, because you'll jump right back in with both feet into more choosing, because choosing is what's necessary for eternity. Very good.
Thank you.
Hello, my friend. Thank you for being here today. I wanted to share an experience I had. It was very freeing. I was watching the movie 12 Years a Slave, and while watching it, there was a scene of a slave being whipped. And in an instant, I was no longer watching the movie, and I was seeing a life where I was a slave and experiencing it. And then a moment later, I was seeing another life where I was a master whipping a slave. And in that moment, I realized that this conflict that I've had of being angry about injustice and everything, that I was the injustice and those having the same thing. And it was a huge relief, like I could let go. I didn't have to fight.
Well, what you're talking about fits so perfectly, no surprise, into what we were just talking about relative to this ongoing becoming that you were all about. Because of course, you've had so many life experiences, you've had so many lives, and in them so much experiences through which you have made choices. And those choices now result in what your knowing is, who you really are, what you are now asking for. We can feel a question erupting all around the room, and so we want to make a very strong clarifying point, because there are those who want each of your life experiences to be a lesson for you. Sort of like I needed to live the lesson of being a slave, and I needed to live the lesson of being a master. And I wonder, if I was a slave before I was a master, could I really have whipped someone after having been whipped? And you can make yourself crazy with all of that. We would like to say to all of you that you've all had all experiences, and none of it was like a classroom. None of it was orchestrated for you. You just had experiences, all of those experiences, where you've come to your individual desires. So this is the most important truth, universal, non-physical knowing, destiny, that we could ever speak into a physical environment. 100% of those that you are interacting with, those who exist as human population of this planet, 100% have had all of those experiences and prefer love. Because there's a tendency to say, well, I've worked it out and therefore I'm more evolved. We didn't hear you say that, but there is a tendency to say that. And therefore someone who is right now behaving in an obnoxious way probably still has that lesson to learn. And that's not what's going on.
It's not linear.
Exactly.
It's not linear.
Exactly. But what is going on is that every human who is experiencing life on planet Earth today is in alignment or not in alignment, or in some variance in between. And what makes you mean is your discord. What makes you mean is your insecurity. Insecurity is your discord. Insecurity on one end of the stick, security on the other end of the stick. In other words, anytime anyone has activated within them something that is not allowing the whole of them to flow through them, then their behavior in the moment. And there are people who will beat someone today who have never beat anyone before, because the momentum of what's going on and the attention that they're giving to whatever has them so discordant of who they really are that they are flailing about. Their anger is never with someone else. It's always with their maybe not able to verbalize or really understand. It's their awareness of their not being where they innately and deeply understand that they should be. Nothing is worse than to be these evolved, enlightened, pure positive energy, God force beings that every one of you is, and to be in some situation where you have allowed your perspective to grow in a way that you've managed to pinch yourself off completely from all that you are. For a long while we've said, if you saw someone in the street bleeding, you would most likely do everything you could to help them. But if you see someone in the street behaving badly, your tendency isn't to help them, but sometimes to mock them or to shun them or to punish them in some way. And then you're not satisfied. And the reason that then you use them as your object of attention, I feel terrible because of my observation of you, is because you're using them to separate yourself from who you really are, just like they have used a lot of something to separate themselves from who they really are. And the bottom line is, everyone has the potential in time, maybe not immediately, to get back into the harmony of who you are, because you're not ever going to experience satisfaction unless you are letting all of who you are flow in the conversation that you're having. And if you're letting all of who you are flow in the conversation that you're having, then you're demonstrating wisdom and clarity and love and upliftment. And regardless of how you're being perceived by whoever it is you're talking to, you're not letting whatever they are dissuade you from your alignment with who you really are. And that is true empowerment, and that is true happiness.
Absolutely.
So everything that we're talking about, those of you who've been listening to us for a while know this, is that we are wanting you, in the quiet of your own mind, to practice alignment so that you know what it feels like, and then to tiptoe into situations and see if you can maintain your alignment, so that you can be out in a world that is full of upheaval and not feel that you are at risk, and not be at risk of separating yourself from who you are. To be aligned with who you are and aware of what's going on in the world gives you the power to soothe others. And really, soothing others is all that you are ever about. It's not about locking them up or joining with enough forces to cause coercion in some way or another. The soothing of the human heart into the alignment of their destined alignment with who they really are, that is the work of all, not just teachers, of all, not just uplifters, of all. And if you want to know, if you want to count yourself among those that are maybe otherwise intended, just try being mad at someone for a little while and feel the destruction that it does to you.
Absolutely. Yeah, one and the same, no difference. And that's what that taught me. And even with the whole pipeline and the Native Americans, with watching that, I realized I could see that some of those that are protesting used to be soldiers in the old days, and some that were fighting the protesters used to be the Native Americans, and we're all the same. There is no, it's like a huge release of pressure. Like I dropped half my baggage and I was free. I don't have to be angry at anyone.
Well,
I can choose not to.
you get to be if momentum takes you there.
Right,
but
absolutely.
at this point of understanding, you'll never be willing to stay there long, because you understand completely what that means. You have disassociated with the behavior of anyone else, and you understand that how you feel is simply about the choice that you are making in the moment. But making that choice then shows in evidence of what manifests. So if you want to know what the vibrational choices you're making, what the harmonic or discordant choices are that you're making, just look around at what's manifesting in your experience, and there are clues.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Really good.
Thank you.